What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We are halfway through our move from Arizona to Washington State, and I wanted to do a quick video on my Knafs Burrito Grande, why I chose it for this move, the 17 knives I chose to take with me, and how much I really have come to appreciate this thing. I got it right before the trip, to carry these knives with me, so I've been really impressed with this and really like it. But before we get too far into that, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below, like the channel, and then you can head over to Instagram and follow us at Work Knife Balance 939. We'll send you one of these sweet stickers as a thank you when you send us a knife for review, and we send you your knife back. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this. My screen isn't going to fully show everything, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of unwrap this one row at a time, and we can go from there. So the bottom is just kind of this clean mat right here. It's got two magnetic clips that actually attach up here to keep that closed if you need to, but it is a little clean mat for tear downs and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. I liked it, and I do have another little like toolkit that I carried with me. So these bottom five right here are going to be first five that I chose to carry with me. The first one right here is going to be the Wee Kite Fin. This is one that if you've been following the channel, there was a kind of a little challenge out there for one knife for the entire month. And so for the month of August, I chose to carry this knife with me. And it has been in my pocket, I would say, out of the 31 days, 28 of the 31 days. The last 2 days in the car, I've actually had my Rango prototype with me. I love that knife. It's really cool, and it'll be coming out soon. But the Wee Kite Fin came with us for that trek right there. It's been a fun one to have, and we do have a video on this knife. I believe we had a video on all the knives here. So that's been on there. Apologies for the dogs in the background. We're at my mom's house right now, and she's got her dogs outside for us for a little bit. But the next is the Rango, the titanium Rango CPM 20 CV. This is our knife that we are creating. Should hit Kickstarter here in September. We had to push back the release date on Kickstarter for the campaign just with the cross-country move, but we're actually super excited to get this going. We've got everything set. We will just be pushing that submit button tomorrow for Kickstarter to approve our campaign and get that going. So this has been a phenomenal knife to have. I'm really excited to bring this to the community, and I know some people have been asking about it. So here it is. This is our titanium frame lock knife that we're going to be bringing out there. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. I'm going to set that one to the side as well. Moving along, we had the Remet Peacock that I brought with us. This was kind of a beater knife that I brought with me. It's one that I really love for best bang for your buck. One of the best bang for your buck knives out there, especially on Amazon, I felt. Has really good ergos. We have a really good video on this. Done a couple fun things. We did a scale swap on it. So my wife has the pink one, I have the blue one. We swapped the scales on it to make it like pink and blue, his and hers, which is kind of cool. And then you have amazing action for this knife. The next two are some Benchmades that I don't think we actually have videos on, but these are two Benchmades. These ones are ones that I have in my collection. I've got a couple other Benchmades, but these two are a little more sentimental and special to me because of who gave them to me and where I got them. So this is going to be the titanium frame lock, or the titanium bug out, titanium scaled bug out there with M390, which is pretty cool. And then we have the Blade HQ Jade M4 blade, blanking, oh my gosh, someone please yell at me because this is ridiculous. Osborne. So we have the Osborne right here, and if I would have flipped it over, you could have seen right there's the Osborne sign. So I absolutely love the Osborne. If you follow our channel, you've seen our very first video ever was me giving away an Osborne, because the Osborne is the knife that got me into collecting. So I really love the Jade on this one, the Jade G10 on this one, and it just, that style and everything, I love it. So that one will always be my collection. I carry it with me quite frequently. Moving on, and I love how I can just do this. I can just like flip this underneath and then move this down. We have our next row. This next row, we start to step up a little bit in my collection on some of the things that I really appreciate and like. And we'll start from the left, because on the right side, I get really excited about that one over there. But we've got the Wee Vision R. This is going to be one of my favorite knives in my collection. Absolutely so unique and fantastic. We just picked up the Civivi version of this as well. And so the Vision FG, I believe it's called. But this is the Vision R, and I really love this. all of these knives as well are semi-users for the most part. Most of them are all users. I don't think I carried any Safe Queens with me. All these I have carried and used and had in my pocket. I try to carry all my knives, even if I'm just cutting paper or tape or boxes or whatnot. Almost every single one of my knives has been used at some point or another. So you may see some wear on some of them, like you can see on the blade edge right here a little bit. There's some wear to it, but that's because I use these knives. I collect them and I love them and I really like them, but I also use them for what their intended uses are for. So you will notice that a little bit. But we do have the We Vision R here, and this is a fully ambidextrous knife. I absolutely think this is one of the most unique ones in my collection because of that super lock backlock there. Kind of creates an almost anti-gravity feel to it, which is pretty sweet, but you are able to do that reverse flick and flip it out there, which is pretty nice. Go ahead and set that one back in the collection real quick. Next, we have the Were Knives Werewolf. Oh, sorry, the Were Knives Werewolf. And this one is a newer one to my collection. We just did a video on this a while ago. Just aesthetically, this knife is probably one of my favorites. Where they decided to put the zircotai accents on it, and the zircotai that I was lucky enough to get the patterning on, absolutely beautiful, and really just love this knife. So this one may be one that you see me get rid of down the road eventually, but for the foreseeable future, this one's definitely going to be in my collection. It's super slicey. Absolutely love the material and everything on it as well. So this one is going to be another M390 blade with that one as well. Moving on, we've got the Jack Wolf Knives Gunslinger Jack. This is Jack Wolf's first frame lock. I do have the blue carbon fiber on this one, fat carbon fiber as well. You got the blue accent pocket clip, and this is an S90V. Absolutely love what Jack Wolf Knives has been doing and putting out there. This is my favorite Jack Wolf that I own. If Jack Wolf continues to make things like this in the locking form, you can only expect more great things from them, because this is just absolutely fantastic. This will be a piece that stays in my collection for a long time and gets passed down, because it's a traditional knife with a modern touch. It's absolutely fantastic. It's brings a lot of good stuff to it. Next, we've got the Devo Stout, and this one's in my collection, has been carried quite frequently recently in preparation for the Stout V2. I did pre-order 2 of those, so I'm really excited to get those coming in when they all go through production and everything. And Devo has been one of my big inspirations. Some of the stuff that they've been doing with their knives is part of the reason we wanted to start Sage Knives, but as well as our YouTube channel and hit the community in that way as well. So this was one of the first knives that really got me into branching out away from the CRKT, Kershaw, Civivi, Wees, and diving into more specialized knives, custom knives, production custom knives. And I really love the fact that I got this stout. I got it secondhand, and I'm very thankful for the gentleman who got this to me. He's from Nathan from Just the Tip EDC, and so I'm really excited to have that one in my collection. That one will be in my collection for a long time to come as well. Moving on, we have a newer Wee. This is the Wee Riff Raff and from Christensen Knives, and I will say this is phenomenal. This knife has been absolutely amazing. Every short you've seen it in that I've had it, it's been one of my main users. When I got it, I talked about how this could very well be in contention for Knife of the Year 2023 for me. It's just the price point is amazing. The material it comes through is absolutely phenomenal as well. And then just ergos, aesthetics, everything about this knife is really, really fantastic. So definitely a phenomenal knife. I couldn't leave this one behind. Wanted to keep it with me in collection. So that one's going to be there as well. Moving on, we've got the Skeleton Tuya Kaladin right here. So this is going to be the Kaladin knife that we got here. This is the Skeleton Blades Kaladin knife, and I absolutely didn't want to leave this behind because this was one of the most exciting knives that I was happy enough to get into my collection. The polishing that they did on the blade, the spear tip look to it, absolutely beautiful. I could not expect anything different from this. So really loving this one. Didn't want to leave it behind as well. You're sitting on S90V steel for this as well. So that was something that I really liked about. And then we're moving on to the final row. Flip this underneath right here. We've got the final row, and these 5 or 6 in the top final row were probably my top 6 knives in my collection. We've got 2 Shiro, 1 of my grails, 1 of my other grails, and then 2 more recent favorites. So we will start on the right side over here, and we're gonna go ahead and pop this open. This is gonna be the Miguron Carex 2. Absolutely a banger knife. Miguron does some fantastic things, and they just continue to make better and better knives. They're also probably the best value knife for the material you get there. So this is the Carex 2, an absolute slicey little beast that you can get right there. Really good choke up action. You're sitting on M390 steel for the premium version of the Carex, and you've got a titanium frame lock to it with some absolutely amazing textured micro milled lines through there that you can see. This is just a beauty of a knife. I don't think I have another Miguron in my collection that I want or like more than that one, and so that's been one of my favorites. Finally, we're coming through to the Spyderco in the collection. So this is my only button lock Spyderco, and this is probably one of my 6 Spydercos that I have. I'm not a huge Spyderco fan, but this one caught my attention, and so I went ahead and had to jump on this. This is the Spyderco Smock right here. I have the aftermarket titanium Sigaha scales on it, and then there's actually 2 different springs that you can open up, and so when these were put on, the second spring was taken out, and the action is more phenomenal on this. I really like it. It's really probably one of my most amazing Spydercos, and I think one of the most underrated Spydercos. I slept on this for a long time, and then when I finally pulled the trigger and got that in my collection, I could not have been happier. Moving on, we have our Kunwu Tao. This is one of the very first Kunwus this is the very first Kunwu that I got in my collection. This is from the Kickstarter. This is the Kunwu Tao first production, 273 of 400, M390 frame lock with titanium scales there. Just amazing things. Kunwu is continuing to put out more and more just high-end products. I recently got the Chad, have been dabbling with whether or not to get a Padre, that has just been released, but Kunwu has some really good stuff, and this one being my very first Kunwu just has a little space in my heart obviously there, so had to take that one along with me. Moving on, we've got my Grail knife. I know not everyone is super into the Grimsmo knives, but there's nothing better from Canada in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of great actors from Canada, but in my opinion, this is probably one of the greatest things to come from Canada, and it's Grimsmo knives. I've been eyeing a Saga, but this is the Grimsmo Norseman, and so I'm really excited to have this in my collection. This one stays with me everywhere I go. I love the double honeycomb pattern. I like that I have the kind of ombre ice to blurple, ice on the left, blurple on the right side over here. The one thing I want to do is I want to get a second thumb stud from them so I can do a reverse flick and do a thumb stud on both sides. But this is the most guillotine knife in my collection, and it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, moving on to the final 2, we've got my 2 Shirogorovs that are in my collection right now. So we've got the Shirogorov Neon right here, and I absolutely this is the Chromax PM. I have the green micarta, picked this one up from Recon 1. It's been fantastic and really loving it, as well as the Quantum Ursus right here. Both these are in Chromax PM. Both of them are kind of entry-level Shiros, but still really nice knives. Lets you know what a Shiro can feel like, and you don't have to worry about using it because it's not going to be a couple $1,000 knife. It's just a couple $100, which sounds ridiculous to think about, but still, they're absolutely fantastic knives, and I love them. The size on this one is probably one of my sliciest and best size knives. If I could, I would probably duplicate this one right here and have 2 of these. One that would be a pretty heavy use, almost daily knife, and then another one that would sit kind of like a Safe Queen for special occasions because I love that knife. That is the 17 knives I chose to take with me on our cross-country road trip there. And yeah, let me know what y'all are carrying today. Let me know if you had to choose what knife you would take with you, or what knives from your collection you would take with you. Which ones would you choose and why? I know for me, this Knafs Burrito has been absolutely fantastic to keep everything close to home and also tucked away and really nice. So I've been very appreciative to have this, and Ben is making some amazing things. Super excited to get the Lander 2 as it gets released here soon from Kickstarter. So yeah, I don't have much else, and this video has gone about 15 minutes, which is a long video for us. So until next time, TTFN.